Hello everyone and welcome to Are you weathering the, I don't know if you want to call it snow or slush, but it's out there today. I know, because I took my first slide down the driveway. Luckily, I just fell on my butt and I have enough padding there. So, interesting. But welcome. And thank you for joining me. What can be better than pretty paper and ribbons for Christmas? I am excited to show you a fun technique. I don't think it's new for some of you, but I just discovered it not too long ago and have been dying to try it. And let me just say that when I started playing, oh my gosh, it's really fun. So I can't wait to share it with you tonight. Looking forward to it. So we have a nice group here. We got Cheryl and Sandy, Chris and Sharon. Hello, everybody. And Dawn's joined us. I'm sure we got a few more. Don't forget to pop in and say hello. That's how you can win a prize. So, today I'm going to be using the Boughs of Holly Designer Series paper. Kathy's here. Hi, Kathy. And this stuff is just gorgeous. Not going to be working with the rest of this suite, but let me tell you, this page right here truly inspired me. I have to say that this page in the catalog gets an A+ from me. In fact, I even cased this right here, which is actually a gift, but I cased it and turned it into a card for our retreat. So, gorgeous. I just love this, and this is the pretty paper. I got to tell you, I don't have a lot of whole sheets left because I've been playing with it a lot. So you're going to see a little bit of that tonight. And the reds and the cobblers, mossy meadow, evening evergreen, and shaded spruce. Man, I did not know which green or red to pick. So you'll see though. And then I'll tell you why I chose those colors with the pattern that I picked. I am going to be using this. And for those of you who don't like fussy cutting, but I will show you other ways to decorate some other cards. Here it is. I am cutting out the beautiful poinsettia from this paper. Yep, this one did not have a die, so I had to fussy cut. So it's just gorgeous though. So I'm just going to set that right over here. And then besides this gorgeous card that you're going to see tonight, I have a great stamping tip for you to use for this. Actually, two. I'll show you two different ways in which you can do this. And I'm going to use my Stamparatus to show you how to do that in a totally different way than how you use your Stamparatus. So, let me just get started here by pointing out a few of the dimensions before we get into this stuff. You are going to need one piece, and I did use white on all of mine. It really makes that designer paper pop. So this piece is 2 inches by 5. I did have a few of them where I did 5 1/4, but I like layering it more, so 5 inches actually works better. And then you will need your little strips of paper. A lot of times your paper you can just flip over, but with the red on red, I chose a different pattern. So you need at least 6 of these and 6 of those, so 12 pieces, and they are a 1/2 inch by 3 inches. And let me just pop this over here quick. Okay, Here's our Mossy Meadow. That's the green I chose. And then it is your regular A2 size, so 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4.25. Hello, 4.25. And then you just fold that. And then you will need 2 pieces of your basic white, one for the front and one for the inside. And I do the white on the inside because it's such a dark color. So let's kind of set these off to the side for now, because we'll get back to those. And now I'm going to share them little tips, because you will need a guide when you are working with your ribbon and laying it down. Actually, it's cardstock, but it's going to look like ribbon. And we're going to take our Stampin' Stamparatus, sorry, Stampin' is gone. Okay, and you need 1/2-inch increments. So you can use this, and each one of these squares, good Lord, I cannot talk today. Maybe that fall shook my brain up a little bit too. Okay, so you're going to want to mark these every 1/2 inch. So here's 1/4 and 1/4, so there's 1/2 and 1/2 and 1/2. So simple. Okay, and if there's any residue left or any pencil markings left, if you can see that when you're done with your card, then all you have to do is just erase it. But I have a little bit more fun technique that I liked, and it doesn't take all this, you know, scribing on your cardstock. So what I did was, and if I have a couple extra pieces, I'll show you how this works, but I think you'll get the gist. Okay, you do not want to mark up your Stamparatus, so I just took a sheet of 12 by 12 and cut this down into 6 by 6. You could make it larger and do the, 7 by 7 to make sure that it fit the whole sheet, but I just bring it down a little bit. And then I am going to take my, don't they stick good? And I'm going to grab the extra one on the back. And this one I did not get to put my duct tape on yet, so we're just going to tack that one up here. I don't want this to move while I'm working, so we're going to grab a piece. Actually, we're not going to grab anything yet. We are going to start drawing little lines on here. Okay, so you got a 2-inch, so you can start from here or start from here. I'm going to work over here, and there's your first one. So I'm just going to mark the top, and I am using a Sharpie, and I'm going to go from that 2-inch line and out. All right, go down that half. I should have made an extra one, so I just could have popped it out there. And if you can see, I'm going just a hair below the line because that Sharpie has such a fat little tip. So we don't want to get that on here. And you know what's nice about this is it's going to be your template. And you can even write that on here. So you can use it over and over again. And you do not have to get your Stamparatus dirty or full of glue. All right, this little guy's got to move while I slide this down. There we go. And I do have my 2 inches in there. And you could probably use this for other things, but you got this nice built-in graph here. And they do have graph paper that you can buy that goes with your Stamparatus. but I don't like my project sticking to it. And when I use glue or tape, it comes off of this window sheet a lot easier. So that's my tip. The window sheet works really nice. And we are just going to keep going down here. And how far do I got to go yet? I'm not counting, I'm too busy talking, but that's okay, because, okay, we're to the end. So now you got your stuff all lined up and ready to go. And I am going to grab my old piece here. The old Tombow. Yes, I still have some left. But it doesn't stick as much as the Stampin' Seal. That was created to be super sticky. So I'm just putting a little on the back. And you can do a little bit of that just so it doesn't stick too tight. And we're going to go right down here, right down that center. You got beautiful lines here to work with. And now we're going to put that down so we have no sliding. Pull that one up just a hair. All right. So, are you ready? So we did our hash marks in 1/2 inch increments. And you could even do this. I was going to say, if you do this technique where you mark with your pencil, you should use the silicone mat, because that also will deflect the adhesive and you won't have such a mess. So you definitely don't want to work on paper or anything, because that will just make a little bit of a mess. But I've got my 6 pieces here. So we're going to start with 1. Now they do have the double twisted ribbon, but I thought I would share this one first because it gives you a good representation on how to do this. And then once you get the hang of this, which isn't hard, you can move into the double twisted ribbon. So what we're going to do is, for this one, I'm going to stick with the adhesive here. And I'm just going to go a little bit of the way down, because it doesn't have to go all the way to the end on this one. Because we're going to start with these 2 pieces here. This corner and that spot. So you're going to go all the way to that edge. And that's just in my way. So I'm going to get that right where I want it, and I'm going to swing this over and put that right up to that line. So this piece isn't even attached. So that's going to be a little sticky, and we'll pull that off later. Okay, now I got to straighten myself back out here. Okay. Now it gets a little bit easier, and I could use my regular tape here, and we're going to drop down to this one and this one. And what you want to do is stick them in between. So this one here, and I got my white here, so I'm going to flip the white over to this side. That's just my pickiness being in that way. It really doesn't matter. Okay. It's funny because when I did this before, my head was like right over my paper. Okay, there we go. I got that. Now, again, you're going to drop one down. You're going to kind of line those up right between them 2 lines. There we go. And once I get that set, then I'll push it down. Don't want to push it down too early. And I'm not going all the way out to the ends, because we're not going all the way out to the ends. So get our 2 pieces lined up between those 2. And same with that. And it would have been nice to catch that red, but we didn't, so it's all right. got a little white on this one here. So can you see this? I just want to, I'll show you easy ways. So like start between those two lines, and then just once you get that side, just pull it up. And now it's going to go in between those two lines. So one more time here. Got room for one more. So this one's going to go all the way to that corner, and then between these two. So actually, let's do this. Line that up, right? And bring that one down to our line there. Okay, this one too is going to get cut off. All right. Doesn't look like much yet, but just wait. Barb says, clever setup. Yes, it works really nice to have that little cheat sheet. And I know most of you have your Stamparatus, so this is another great way to get some use out of it. Okay, now we're going to go exact opposite. So we're going to start in this corner, and we're going to go to this corner. So again, you're going to line those up in there. And now you got to watch your little corners here. See how they greet each other? That's exactly where they want to go. So don't push it down until I get those lined up, and then you can push it down. This one here. Alrighty. Opposite way. I'm going to put a little more adhesive on this one because I think I want to catch that flower. Line that up. Swing this in between them two. There we go. And it's going to look, how should I say, quite interesting when we get them all laid out. Watch those two lines, put that in there, and then, whoops, see how that's overhanging? That's too far. So we're going to pull this back up, and there we go. They're going to greet each other at those corners. Then you can always push that one down. Okay, we got a couple more here to go. A little overlapping. There we go. Catch those corners. Looks like a poorly tied shoe, doesn't it? All right, let's put that last one on. There's our last line right there. And our last little corner. So voila, we started with the green and we'll end with the green. All right, I'm just going to stick my finger under there, and you can see how easily that pops up. And now you have your template ready to go for your next card. Because once you get these pieces cut and you have your template set up, you can just keep making these over and over and over again. In fact, I think you will. Now, let me just say, if you're working with scraps, that's awesome. They still have to be cut down to approximately, I would say, pretty close to that 1/4 inch, because that's going to make it look so even and whatever. And like now I said, it just looks like a poorly tied shoe, but here's the magic we're going to do. Let's flip that over. We're going to grab a scissors, and we're going to start at our corner here and just butt that scissors right up to the edge. I'm going to carefully trim this because sometimes that edge doesn't get all the adhesive on it. See what I mean? So I'm going to go back later and lay that down with some glue. Just use a toothpick and your glue and get that locked down on your card. Move these over here, and we're just going to snip, snip. Catch this one here. It's always easier to go back and add some adhesive than it is to have too much, and then you got to work so hard to get that off again. Because some of that stuff is really sticky. So we're going to pick up our little pieces here and then just snip these off. Again, just butt that scissors right up to that back. There we go. Now, see, I need a little piece there too yet. How'd I miss that one? So I'm going to go back in with my glue and settle those down. So now what we need, and oh my goodness, where'd I put it? Okay. I like to back mine, and that is what I don't have here with my goodies. Left it over there with the rest of my stuff. So I chose, even though you could choose the cherry cobbler or real red, I chose the real red, and I'll show you why once I lay that down, because it picks up the red in here, but it makes the cherry cobbler parts really pop. And of course, it goes so nicely with the green. So this gets layered here. And I will go back and finish that off. So does that not look like a ribbon? So the green is the back of your ribbon and the red is the front. Okay, just try to get that nice and even, and then I'll push from the back. Dawn says, this is a fun technique. Yes, it is, Dawn, and I know you're going to try this one, and you're going to love it. You're going to be sitting in your stamp room for quite a while. Okay, so now we're going to take this, and again, we're going to get a nice, even border all the way around there. And again, push from the back. It just makes it easier because this is very nicely textured, and that is so cool. Okay. And now we can get our card front onto our card base. Again, just that. This one I cut 4 by 5 and a quarter. So you have a nice wider border. And I did that because I like the mossy meadow, and I like that it picks those mossy meadow colors up in there. But what it really does is really catches the coloring inside those poinsettias. I just thought that was so cool. Okay, so we are there. And then we had to cut out our little guy here. So I have to figure out which way I actually like this, because I did not make a finished card like this because I was so busy playing with some other ones, that I think what I'm going to do is just bring it down here like that, and I will use dimensionals, and I'm pulling the Christmas cheer from the candy cane set. So Sweet Candy Canes is where our Christmas cheer greeting came from. Just going to have a subtle little greeting. Cute, right? And I know you ladies have some great collections of the Christmas sets. So, I mean, you can use anything you want. Look at this. I got some leftover strips. So I'm going to use those because they're going to hold this up really nice. You know, these are really fun to use because not only can you use them to do your borders, but you can also use that to do window cards, your shaker cards. And you can make circles out of them, little squares. You can cut these and form these any way you want. So they are so nice to use. And these are just called adhesive strips. And you can see all I got left from this one is the outer ring. And yes, I use those because I like the corners. I like to cheat and put those corners in my corners of my cards. There we go. Let's put this down here where it frames in over there. Look at that. You could even do a little wink of Stella on here, but isn't that pretty? This is gorgeous. The way this is cut just frames your greeting so nicely. So, as we were talking about our strips, what I do is if I have scraps, I'll trim them down. But if you have a full 12 by 12 sheet, what I did is I cut it down into 3-inch strips and then just slid it across my paper cutter and cut the 1/4-inch strips. So they're 3 by 1/4, and I'm sorry, a 1/2 inch. These are a 1/2 inch. So a 1/2 inch by 3 inches, and you can go crazy. What I did was leave little squares. Instead of cutting it all the way down, I left 3 by 3 little squares. So now I'm going to make some more cards with these. So, but now I got extra little pieces that I can use to make more cards. And if you ever have leftovers, don't forget you can put them on the inside of your card to create a little more drama. Kathy's group always taught me, don't let the inside of your card be naked. You got to dress the inside just like you dress the front, right? Now see how pretty that paper goes with this mossy meadow. Just really makes it pop. And I added a little bit of red to pay homage to our card up front. So pretty and so easy. All right, just wanted to make sure I got all my tips out there with you. So I also wanted to share a few more samples besides this gorgeous little poinsettia here. Told you I was playing. So I took the new Framed and Festive set and did this one, and that's with their Coordinating Designer Series paper. So I did this one as well. And I cut out a Night of Navy border because frames are coming back. Not just frames, but ovals. I'm loving it. Finally got ovals again. And then I just used one of the embossing folders to add some texture there. Okay. And I am going to have these all on my blog tomorrow. So you see both of these are on that side. Oh, I'm looking a little dark here. Get some more light over here. Is that helping? They look dark. Okay. Yes, the blue one is pretty. So I've got the twisted ribbon on the right side. But on this one, I decided to, left. My other right, so left side. This one, I decided to put it on my right. And I cut my card front down to actually open. So it highlights this, and it's also on the inside. So remember, no naked insides. Got to dress up your insides too. Thank you for the hearts, ladies. And then I just used a punch. And of course, you all know I bought this stamp set just so I could get this greeting with a little more sparkle and a little less stress. Let's make this Christmas the very best. That should be my mantra. I need to put that on my mirror every morning. So, had a little fun with that one. And then I used the snowflake, or I think it's, I'll have all of the proper names put in there. Okay, so I did this one. And this paper comes from Santa Express. So, yeah, that one was fun to play with the pretty snowflake and the fa-la-la-la-las. So I like that one. And then I had, I had to have glitter on one. I see Sandy out there. Gotta have glitter. And Vicky, I know she loves glitter. All right, I took that gorgeous white glimmer paper from the red and white glimmer, which also comes in, I believe, that big sweetest candy cane, sweetest Christmas sweet. And I embossed it with this same embossing folder. Is that not cool? Oh, gosh, I love it. Oh, you can see that really good on camera. Perfect. And then this pattern again comes from the Santa Express. And the most wonderful time of the year, oh gosh, that comes from Sweet Candy Cane too. So, ladies, I had a stash of stamps and paper, and you are going to love this. This technique is so fun, and you can see this one I centered. So each one is a little different. Like I said, I cut the front half off so that you could get that nice, not hiding it, but yet open it up and it's pretty on the inside. Oh, and here's my other stamping technique or little trick there. If you want the border on your punch, but you don't have a double punch, then just cut it in half and you can move that up so you can see color. So gorgeous, gorgeous. Got to add that glimmer paper. So much you can do with these. Put in an embossing folder, but the technique itself for the twisted ribbon is so easy to do. Whether you do it with the little increments and just, pencil markings, or you grab your Stamparatus and you make yourself, remember to use the window sheet. You have to have the window sheet because you do not want to write on your Stamparatus. But then you got a nice template to make lots more cards. So, can you believe we did that in just about a half an hour? So, whether you grab a Santa's Express or Boughs of Holly, some of that paper is on sale right now. Or better yet, in the clearance rack, there is a ton of paper for under $5. So this doesn't have to be Christmas. Pretty paper and ribbon, yes, Christmas time. But wow, this technique is for birthdays. And you know what? You can even do man cards with this. So I would take you could do the lighthouse. You could do, what is it? He's the one, or he's the catcher. I don't know. There's a guy set in there that you can use. But yes, so just have fun with this. And this will be on the blog post tomorrow. And it'll also be on my YouTube channel. So if that's where you guys are catching this for the first time, welcome and thank you. So for those of you watching the Facebook Live right now, though, I want to, speaking of sparkles, I have more washi tape to give away. So let's do that. And we will see. Now, I do believe that last time I grabbed my entries from right away last week after, because I knew Christmas is coming and I just get so busy. Thank you, everyone, for the compliments and the little hearts. I love it. Let's make this full size. And let's see who is going to win it's a white glitter washi tape. So, good luck, everybody. And drum roll, please. 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck, everybody. Ooh, Ooh, congratulations, Cheryl. You'll be able to pick this up Thursday if you can come to class. Cheryl's in my club. So if you have any questions or whatever, you can always message me. You can find me on lindasstampinup.net. So have a wonderful evening, ladies, and thank you so very much for joining me. And if you are watching me on YouTube, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Have a wonderful evening. Good night, everyone.